Video. Today we're gonna talk about displaying text on a website. In our last video, we talked about just introduction of HTML, what it is, how to set up, and all that. And we're gonna start off where we left off last time. So let's get started. As we know, there are multiple HTML elements for displaying a variety of different things. For example, there's ones for texts, like the ones we were gonna discuss today. There are ones for videos, for audio, for images, yeah, for a ton of things. This video is specifically for displaying text. So if we come here, we have a single file called website. It's a HTML file, and we have the basic kind of foundational code here. And if we're using Visual Studio and Live Server, yeah, we talked about these technologies in last video. So let's open Live Server, and basically we have an image. We have nothing here. So let's start to learn about things. As we discussed last time, all the content that shows up in your website is basically goes inside the body tag. So inside the body, here is where we're gonna put it. So let's start here for headers. Now, whenever you are writing something, you create headers, to create hierarchy of your content. So you have the title, the subtitle, all that. Now, HTML gives us this tag called H. It stands for header, and then it gives us a variety of it. So we have H1, for example, and then we actually have 6 of them. So let's go to this 2. We have 3. We have 4 here. We have 5 here, and we have 6. And when I save the file, we can see that this is the most prominent, and then so this would be your main header, and then you have some header, and then it kind of goes down. Now, the next thing would be paragraphs. So, paragraph is basically B, and as we last talked about the syntax, you kind of open the tag and then you close it with that forward slash before the B or the H5 or whatever. And let's just copy some text here that we're gonna use as a paragraph to kind of demonstrate that, and click on here and paste the code. Boom, we have the paragraph. Actually, I kind of need a little bit more to kind of talk about some really nice things, and boom, right there, that we have. Now, here is something you may have noticed, is that the formatting doesn't actually match what shows up there. So let's actually create another paragraph. So we have this paragraph, and let's say I cut after whatever that word is, nothing happens here. Let's say I have a space is here, nothing happens there, right? It actually deletes all the spaces except to the last one that we need to separate words. Now, what if you want to break? Now that there is a dedicated HTML element called BR, and now look how it happens when I save it. Boom, it broke right there. It broke where it's supposed to. Now, this is a nice place to discuss two kind of HTML elements. One is called block elements, and there are inline elements basically. Block elements take a whole width of the page or a block of something. So, for example, if that took all that took that, the paragraph took that took that. And there are inline elements. Inline elements don't take off, they only take what they need, and they go usually inside the other elements. Like BR is, for example, an inline, while everything else we have on this page is a block element. So if we actually go to the BR, let's see where the break is. So if we open up here, this is the BR, and it took actually a 0 width times 18.8 height, right? So it didn't take any width at all. That's why we don't see it. That's great. Now, let's try to put a horizontal line in the middle. That would just be HR. When we save, boom, we have, we need to delete this. We actually have the horizontal line right there. And the horizontal line doesn't have a closing because nothing goes inside of it. It's just one thing. Like BR is just one thing. When it's just one thing, you don't need to close because nothing is enclosed. Now you might be wondering, what if I actually care about the format, right? What if I'm doing a song, or it's a poem or something like that I actually care about? So let's see. For example, let's say you're really good at making poems or singing or whatever, and let's say this is how you want it to look, but you know HTML doesn't accept that. So we can actually use another tag called PRE. It stands for pre-formatted, right? It stands for pre-formatted, and it actually cares about the format. So now if we try the space thing we're talking about, now you see it actually accounts for that. So when you have a specific code, a specific text you want to format in a certain way, you use PR. Now what if you want to actually put some code in there, right? What if you want to have a code that is actually dedicated? You probably are not going to use it for a while, but there is a dedicated tag for code. So let's just say, and then just save that. Now that is how a code would look, for example. And let's see here. And one of the most important thing about using content online is you want to cite contents that other people actually have. So to cite, we're going to use another inline HTML. So let's say I want to cite this right there. I don't know what that is. I don't speak Latin. So let's just, you use basically one called cite, and its inline element, it goes inside there, and it has opening and closing tag. And now if you actually look at that, that is italicized. That's the default. You can then change how your site looks, and there are tons and tons and tons of different elements, HTML elements that you can use. These are just some basic. For example, just to add one more example, there is one called strong. So if you wanna make page bold, basically you create another inline called strong. So if I save this, now that is kind of pulled because it's strong. And yeah, that's the basic that we're gonna be using all of this in actually creating a website. So see you in the next video.